It turns out that one of Biden's nominees has had some pretty racist ideas in the past. She is Kristen Clarke, who has been nominated to lead the DOJ Civil Rights Division, and she believed, at least at one point in her life, that melanin endowed blacks with greater abilities. Now, before I give you specifics of what she actually said and how it's worse than what we just read, anytime someone claims that one race is superior to another, well, they don't really believe in equality. So I would argue that someone like her, if she still believes this, should not be part or leading civil rights, because she obviously doesn't believe in equality if she thinks that one race is superior to another. We have this information because back in 1994, she wrote a letter to the Harvard Crimson while she was president of the Black Students Association, and this is essentially how she started. Please use the following theories and observations to assist you in your search for truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. And already, we're off to a kind of rocky start, because I have been reliably informed by people in the know that there aren't real genetic differences between the races. Or as National Geographic says, there's no scientific base for race, it's a made-up label. But that's just the beginning. It's now going to get pretty ridiculous. Her first argument is that inside the core of the brain, there is a part of the brain called the locus coeruleus, which I probably pronounced incorrectly, and she argues that that is a black structure because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin. And already we're getting pretty ridiculous. An internal organ, or part of an internal organ, is black, according to her, because it uses melanin. It's inside your body, it's not black or white, it's a part of your body. This is kind of weird. And this is just the beginning. Point number 2, she argues that black infants sit, stand, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. Now, even if this is the case, sitting or standing or walking doesn't really impact anything of any real importance. This article from Science Daily points out that children who start walking earlier turn out later to be neither more intelligent nor more well coordinated. So Clarke is trying to argue that because black infants sit or stand up or walk sooner, that makes them superior in some way. If you try to argue that you or someone else is more intelligent based on how soon you started walking, well, that is not accurate whatsoever, and it makes you look like an idiot. No one cares how old you were when you started walking as a toddler. It's irrelevant. 3, the human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. So now we're getting to the real gist of this, that blacks are apparently superior physically and mentally because of melanin. And she's going to get even more specific a little bit later. So let's just keep going. 4, most white people are unable to produce melanin. And this is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And now we move on to her last point, where she is very specific in what she believes. 5, melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities. Let me read that just one more time. Melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities. And looking at that, I'm not entirely sure how you can compare someone's spiritual abilities to someone else. It's not really something you can measure, per se, but let's just go with it. She is claiming that black people are superior physically, mentally, and spiritually because of their melanin. Now, I want to point out that the reverse of this argument, saying that white people were superior, had been for centuries an excuse to enslave black people or keep them down with Jim Crow or any number of things. Falsely claiming that white people were scientifically proven to be superior to black people is in part what caused all the discrimination and the horrific things that we have seen in the past. So why are we now accepting the reverse and saying that black people are now actually superior physically, mentally, and even spiritually? And I do want to reiterate, like I said at the beginning, this was something that she wrote back in 1994. So it's been quite a long time. Perhaps she no longer believes the same things that she did. But if it were someone on the right who said the reverse of what she's saying here, you better believe that the left would not let them live it down. That they would not let them be nominated to anything. Because it would come up time and time and time again, and they'd pretend that no one can ever change their opinions and can grow. So I don't know if she believes this still. The fact that she seems to have believed it 30 years ago is disturbing to me because it's a very disturbing belief. But I don't think it's fair to say that she necessarily agrees with all of that right now. I think at the very least, she should address it because she is being nominated once again to the DOJ Civil Rights Division. And you can't be in charge of civil rights if you believe, for some reason, that any race is superior to another race. It doesn't work that way because you can't really believe in equality. How can you have equality if you think that black people are superior to white people or any other race? I'm not using the information in this video to say that she necessarily shouldn't be confirmed to that position, but I do think it raises plenty of questions that we deserve to have answered. If she still even remotely believes any of this, then no, I don't want her leading civil rights in any way, because she obviously doesn't believe in equality. But because cancel culture is by and large a product from the left, perhaps she won't receive any pushback or any questions about this at all. We'll just have to wait and see. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, watching this video, leaving a like or a comment, and I'll see you next time.